Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is your host Majestic speaking with another episode of MechWarrior Online here. And today is not Patch Note Day. In fact, it's almost a week after Patch Note Day, and that's 100% my fault for not being able to get this video out sooner because of the fact that I accidentally placed the source files of my original clips in the wrong folder that I wound up actually getting rid of entirely. So I accidentally deleted the source files, and as a result of that, I was ready on Thursday, I had the clips ready, and I was going to put it out on Friday morning, and then because I accidentally deleted them, I had to record brand new footage, which is exactly what I've been doing over the past 3 days. I wanted to give you guys a 100% full encompassing view and perspective of this guy, the Bushwacker Hero High Roller, but I didn't want to skimp out. I didn't want to just record and throw anything up there. Everything that I want to place on the channel, that's one of my initiatives going forward, is I want it to be quality. It doesn't necessarily have to mean top damage every round or the most amount of kills or anything like that. You know, I have series that are dedicated to that. If I happen to have a good round that I was recording, I'll put that up there. But I really wanted to give you guys a perspective in case you guys actually want to go out and purchase this particular mech and this particular variant for yourselves. You'll get that full encompassing view, that kind of opinion as to how I'm using it on the battlefield, maybe some of the other builds that you've seen already over the past week, and kind of make a decision for yourselves as to whether or not it fits into your play style and you would actually go out and purchase it for yourselves. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to be taking out the High Roller Hero. First and foremost, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the mech lab. We're going to dive into the nitty-gritty details of this particular variant. Then we're going to take it out onto the battlefield, and to make up for having deleted those files and giving you guys this video late, I'm going to give you 3 rounds of gameplay. Normally, I only do 1, maybe a bonus round, but today I wanted to do 3, and so that you guys could get multiple perspectives from long range versus short range, hot maps versus cold maps, and again, formulate an opinion for yourselves. So first and foremost, let's check out what this guy has to offer. If we first look at the hard points, what this guy has to offer are 3 ballistic, 4 energy, 1 missile, 1 AMS, and 0 ECM hard points. Now, the new system is still not yet in place in the game, so I did spend a ton of GXP to actually get this thing mastered for you guys to hopefully give you an optimal perspective as to what to expect if you were to go out and purchase this mech for yourselves, grind through the XP, and then master it. So that's hopefully what kind of perspective I can give you with this particular variant. Now, along with that, because the new system is still not in place, we also still have a quirk summary list to go through. And what this particular variant has to offer is turn rate bonus of plus 15. Then we have armor bonuses in the center torso, left torso, right torso, and left arm, all plus 10. And then on top of that, in the right arm, we have plus 18. So this thing, especially from, you know, the waist up, this thing has a lot of structure to go along with it. And then in the right and left leg, we also have plus 7. So again, we're just constantly padding this mech. And that is definitely part of my first impression, is that this is an extremely tanky medium. I know a lot of people were worried about the hitboxes and if it would be able to compete with the rest of the mediums out there on the battlefield, and it has very much so surpassed my expectations. So even just looking at this mech from an armor quirk perspective, we might have another Inner Sphere medium competitive mech on our hands. And how I like to look at every single mech in the game is in one of 3 categories that we have to decide as pilots to mix and match between. We have firepower, sustainability/survivability, and speed. Those are the top 3 categories that you can pretty much put anything into. And across the board for the Inner Sphere, when you're looking at mediums and heavies and everything, we have to sacrifice maybe 1 or 2 of those categories in order to be really, really efficient in 1 or 2 of those categories. So with that being said, I feel like the Bushwacker in particular just has a very, very healthy balance of all 3. We have speed, we have sustainability and survivability because of these armor quirks, and we have some firepower. With these armor quirks, we have some extra tonnage to work with to put in a bigger engine, to even go with an XL engine because we have some padding there, or put in bigger firepower so that we can know we can really deal a punch out there on the battlefield. So that's the first perspective that I looked at this mech, and you know, in looking at it from all 3 of those categories, you know, it really just makes you have a little bit of a different perception about the Inner Sphere making a comeback. And everyone likes to see the clans as being overpowered, and that's where a majority of the focus is. Like, the clans are just overpowered in every category, and I agree. I think overall, if we take all three of those particular categories into consideration, I think overall the clans are definitely more powerful than the Inner Sphere. But now we have the Bushwacker, and I'm not saying the Bushwacker is a game changer by any means, but I'm definitely saying that the Bushwacker is tilting the balance of power even just so slightly towards the Inner Sphere. I still think even with the Bushwhacker's release that the clans are definitely the more powerful of the two, but the Bushwacker definitely helps out the cause for the Inner Sphere, and I like seeing that. So let's check out what the rest of this thing has to offer so that you guys can actually see it in action and what I mean by how this thing actually performs. We have energy range bonus of 10%. That's applicable across any energy weapon. So I really like that they placed a generic energy range quirk on there so that we can, mix and match with a couple different things. And then the other weapon quirk that they placed on here, machine gun rate of fire bonus of 15%. So as you can imagine, because I like to cater to the quirks, especially on the first day, so you guys can see how it performs with all this stuff intact, obviously with those 3 ballistic hardpoints, I went with machine guns. So there they are, right torso, left torso, and right arm. Now, where I was mixing and messing around with the rest of this mech are those energy hardpoints. I messed around with so many different builds, trying to mix and match with heat and speed and taking into consideration the armor and even how much damage I was dealing. And this mech, it has so many different ways in which you can use it, and that's what I really am liking about it so far. But what build I really am liking at this point in time is 3 large pulse lasers and a medium laser for those 4 energy hardpoints. Now, the 3 large pulses and the medium, they sync up very nicely when you fire them. The duration, the cooldown, they just work very well together. They're a great weapon grouping. So I decided to stick with that. Another build that you also might want to mix and match with are 4 ER larges. Now, I think you have to put in a smaller engine. I forget exactly what the build is, but you can put 4 ER larges. It's a very hot build, but that also works as well because we have that energy range quirk of 10%, and I think you get, in total with the ER large module on there for range, you get about 810 meters to work with. So that is a very, very significant amount of range to have on this mech, especially with 4 ER larges. So it's hot, but it definitely works out in your favor if that's the mech, if that's the type of build that you like to work with. With this particular mech and this particular build, with the energy range quirk, and then I also placed the large pulse range module on there, so that gives me another 12%. We have 22% bonus in the range, and I think that gives me 438 meters in total of range. Obviously, that's optimal range, not total range, but with that being said, let's check out the overview here. 55 out of 55 tons, all the tonnage is being used. We have 67 out of 78 slots being used. 336 out of 370 armor. So I did take some armor off, but look at where I took it off. That bulky right arm. All we have in there is a machine gun, and even then, I still have 20 armor hard points in that right arm to protect in case, if I'm going to be, peeking around corners or anything, or I have to torso twist, I can put that right arm in there, and if I lose it, I'm only losing a machine gun. A majority of our firepower focuses up in that left arm and obviously in the torsos. So, sacrificially, I'm looking at just losing that machine gun so that I can still sustain a lot of my firepower between my arms and my torsos. So one way that I did have it actually set up before, just a little side note, I had all 3 large pulses in the left arm, and then I had the medium laser in the center torso. Now, once all of my opponents figured out that my left arm had all 3 large pulses, that's exactly what they were focusing on, and then all I had really were the 3 machine guns and a medium laser to carry me through the rest of the match. But I actually liked this loadout and this particular placement of the hard points a lot more. So having that large pulse laser in the center torso, it's right on the tip of the nose there, so it's right underneath the cockpit. If you if it's right in front of you and you can put your line of sight and there's not any kind of obstruction or object in front of you, you can shoot it and lay down some damage. So I'm really liking this build. Again, it is mastered, so with Speed Tweak, I go 87.1 kph. It has a 52-point alpha, a 1.25 heat management ratio. That includes 13 total double heat sinks, 10 in the engine, 1 on top of the engine, and then I placed 1 in each torso. So again, we only took off 34 armor hard points, all coming from that right arm. So in total, this would give us 54 armor if we were to fill that up. We can even take out, you know, the machine gun or something like that and not use a third machine gun and just use it as a shield arm. You know, you can really mix and match what you want to do with this thing. So that's what I really like about it. It's so versatile and how you can actually play it. So again, let's check out the modules, and then we can actually head out to the battlefield. Advanced Seismic Sensor is the first mech module that I placed up here. Radar Deprivation in the back, and then the 2 weapon modules only catering towards those large pulses. Large pulse laser cooldown bonus of 12%, so you get a 12% bonus on the cooldown. That does mess up a little bit with how the medium laser and the 3 large pulses sync together if I decide to fire them all off at the same time and use them in an alpha kind of perspective. But they do work really nicely, even so, because you really shouldn't be doing more than 2 or 3 alphas at a time. So they will continue to sync up pretty nicely. And then, again, that large pulse laser range module 5, that gives me another 10%. So, yeah, that's 20% range on the large pulses, which gives us that 438 in total. And then the consumables, we have the Cool Shot 9x9 and the improved airstrike. So that's just a little bit of an overview. I'm still messing around with the build. I might do another video of the 4 ER large build. Again, that's all long range focused. There's no reason to get, up close and personal in a brawly kind of situation, which I like to do. But with 438 meters of range, you can play pretty much mid to a shorter long-range perspective, if that makes sense. So I hope you guys enjoyed this overview, but now I think it's about that time we hit the battlefield. So let's go into the queue and see exactly how we do. Here we go. Alrighty, guys, here we go. First round is going to take place on HPG Manifold, my favorite map in MechWarrior Online. But first things first, what we're going to have to do is obviously we're going to have to group up with our team. And being in Bravo Lance, we're starting all the way on the left side of our formation here, so we are going to have to make our way out one of the entrances, which I believe for them is where a lot of their assaults and heavies come out of. So hopefully we don't trade too much fire. Obviously right here in the beginning, we do want to stay a little bit conservative, at least group up with the team, and then make our moves from there. So first things first, we're going to have to pop out of this entrance, maybe do a little bit of an exchange. I know if they do have some assaults that are there, I'm probably going to catch some flack. So that's what we're going to focus on first, just at least coordinating ourselves and getting together with the team. So first things first, take a little look across, and there comes some LB fire, and I did catch some of it as expected in my left arm and my left leg, which is where I don't really want to catch a lot of damage. That is a majority of where my firepower is, so if I can try and avoid taking in any damage from those components, I would really, really like to do that. Just checking over the top, just making sure there's no one underneath the crosswalk. Probably going to do another quick glimpse down the walkway here, or the alleyway here is what I like to call it, right next to the manifold and the walkway. And that looks clear as well, so we're with the team pretty much at this point. And over comms are saying we're going to push Delta 4 into Echo 4. And that's pretty much what we would like to do if we can. So just going to swing around here right underneath the manifold and check and see if we have any targets peering over. Yes, we have a Timberwolf and what looks like the profile of a Marauder 2C. So now we're going to look around the corner. There's no one here. So it looks like the rest of their team is forming up on the manifold, which gives us the opportunity to push forward. Now, this is a very, very aggressive position, but I'm guessing at this point their entire team has grouped up and they are focused up on the manifold. No one is low, and I'm keeping an eye on the mini-map. I'm looking at where my team is in reference to where I'm pushing to. We have this King Crab right here in front of us, and we're going to land some fire into him very quickly. He's also accompanied by a Shadowhawk, and we're going to go from Kalpa here. Very weak torso. We're going to focus in on there. He still has it working, but we are able to actually land a shot that completely disables him. So now he's completely neutered. Don't have to worry about him putting in any more damage on the team. He is still alive. We didn't get the kill just yet, but it does look like he is completely out of capacity at this point. We have a Blackjack here right in front of us, It looks like he's trying to peer around the corner and get a shot down, but he's not going to be able to do that without us putting some suppression fire back into him. Charlie is poking his head out again, and now we're probably going to get the kill on him. One salvo into that torso, and he goes down immediately. So there he goes. Hotel is now focusing up on us. We're playing a little game of chess here. As you can see, we're teetering back and forth. He's trying to get some shots down. We're trying to get some shots down. We're putting down the bigger shots, though. We have some help from the rest of the team. We did catch a salvo of long-range missiles, but we are able to put down a salvo, and that Timberwolf was able to clean up. This King Crab is still here. I'm not sure what he's still doing here. We're going to put another alpha into him, use that cool shot, and another alpha, and that gets us the kill. So, wow, that escalated very, very quickly. 4-2 is the current score, and their entire team looks to have rotated around the manifold, so they kind of just left these guys here. Definitely ill-advised, especially when it comes time for the assaults. You wish you had that tonnage, and they're not going to get that guy back. This Timberwolf in front of us, we could get a shot on him. He's going to go down amber torso, so that Blackjack hop down, and we're going to try and get this Timberwolf, but it looks like he might be dropping down as well. Yes, he is going underneath the manifold, so we're not going to be able to get a shot off on him. That would have been beautiful. This Marauder 2C was coming to clean up with me, but it looks like he's going to be able to dip out, and yeah, he's just going to go into hiding. So now we're going to focus up on our next target, this Catapulter. Marauder 2C is putting some fire in on him, and he had an XL engine, so that gives us a huge kill from that Alpha Strike. This Battlemaster is trying to run away, and he does wind up getting down to the rest of his team, who is remaining 7-4 at this point. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to peek over the top right here into the entrance underneath the manifold and see if that Timberwolf is just kind of hanging out there in the entrance. I'm not seeing anything, and I don't have any seismic on the mini-map, so I'm guessing he did make a little bit of a deeper push into the actual underbelly of the manifold itself. It's 8-5 at this point, so we did exchange 1 for 1. Now, I'm going to push forward a little bit here. They only have 4 left, but I'm guessing a lot of them are underneath. So, oh, there he is. There's a Timberwolf. Okay, we're going to put a shot in. Oh, my gosh, my teammate stepped right in front of me, and I couldn't get the shot. What are you doing? Head shake of shame, sir. That was horrible. Oh, my gosh, that guy would have been destroyed if I got him. Maybe we'll get another chance for redemption. Here he is. It looks like he's out in front. We're going to shoot into that nose, and we got the kill, so we got the redemption shot. He does go down. Now we're going to focus up on this Marauder 2C and the Battlemaster. The Battlemaster is our primary target, and that's who we're going to go for. He's right in front of us. We're just going to put some machine gun fire down. Again, we do have that quirk that gives the rate of fire for our machine guns a huge advantage. While we're cooling down, the ballistics keep firing, so we're just going to keep laying into this guy. One more shot should do it, and there he goes. So that takes him out of the picture. We have this Marauder 2C that's in the center, along with his friend, the Spider. We're going to focus up on the Marauder 2C, obviously the bigger threat. Hide behind the wall, just trying to stay tactical here. Put a huge alpha into him. I thought I could have got the kill. I'm overheating badly right now, and he's just chewing me up. My team helps me out, and they get the kill. Huge break on my part. Definitely got lucky. Just clean up at this point. Clean up on that Spider. And there he goes. Oh, my gosh. That was very, very intense, especially towards the end, but that's what I mean. These Bushwhackers, they're just so tanky, and they're just brutes. And there's the team damage, the 30 team damage that I put into my friend who stepped in front of me. But 5 kills, 3 assists, 738 damage with 7 components destroyed. Overall, a fantastic match, especially to start out this video with the Bushwhacker. I hope you guys enjoyed this round, and even if we're looking at the team scores here, we did do 2nd overall, 2nd on the team. You know, you can even see that the damage, you know, spread between the entire team was pretty solid, and everyone seemed to have done their part. Huge props to the team, coordinating, staying together, really focusing in our fire to get these guys down. So again, another great round from the team. We used both our tankiness and our weapon combinations to help assist in getting kills and getting some kills ourselves. But now we're going to mix it up a little bit. Hopefully get a hot map so you guys can see how this thing performs in extreme conditions. Let's hop back into the queue. Here we go. Alrighty guys, here we go. 2nd round is going to take place on Viridian Bog, a very heat-intensive map, but definitely another perspective for you guys. And we are playing Conquest game mode. So we do have to keep in mind the caps And everyone's talking about how they're splitting up. They're going to go cap one of the points, and we're going to cap another point. So I'm going to follow this Timberwolf over here, give him some support for whichever direction he decides to go. Just make sure that there aren't any fast mediums or lights even that whip around that Delta 4 corner and start putting some damage into our men here. So we're going to give him some support, cap our point over here, and maybe whip around the corner, see what the rest of the team is doing at that point, and maybe get some early shots in. So at this point, we have no idea where the rest of their team is, but they are capping Gamma, and we already have Gamma and Theta, and now we're capping Epsilon. So we will have a 3-2 cap advantage, which is definitely beneficial. And we're gonna make this a full cap. We're gonna hang out with these guys, make sure that we get a full cap in here, and then start moving forward again. So now we're gonna head over towards Delta 4, towards that corner area, just to see if we can peek around the corner, maybe get some movement, see exactly where their team is heading, maybe some targeting information, and maybe there's even some mediums or light mechs over here just trying to get the same information on us. So first things first, we're going to wait over here. As I could see on the minimap, a lot of the team is actually following me. So we're actually just going to peek around real quick, but we're going to have to keep moving. We have a couple of our friendlies over towards, more towards the middle of the map. And they did get an early kill on us. We're going to make our way up on top of the plateau, but we actually got another early kill on them. So it's 1-1 at this point. Looking across onto the other plateau, we do have a couple targets over here. We have Delta, who's up on top of the plateau. This Direwolf that looks like he's trying to join them. I did get hit by 2 PPCs from that Ebonjag, so we're going to have to stay a little bit wary here, a little conservative. Sorry about that with Stormcrow. I was trying to torso twist and I knacked you. But now what we're doing is just putting down more amplification and suppression damage. So we're trying to get them to move out of position and get us into a better position to put more damage down on them. We have to keep in mind our heat management, and we also have to keep in mind on the mini-map, we do have 2 targets down here, and one of our friendlies is getting targeted by them, so we're going to help him out. Now, in focusing in on this Jaeger mech, he's perfectly camouflaged with that default paint up in this landscape. So we're going to keep putting down some fire on him. We did take his arm off with a full alpha, pop that cool shot, keep laying shots into him, and that final large pulse laser shot gets him down. Now we're going to focus onto our next target here, this Bushwacker in front of us. Very weak left torso. Try to get a full alpha. Maybe he had an XL engine, but unfortunately we did overheat, and he was able to get away, but our team is able to clean him up. So very quick succession with the shots. Now we're going to try and get into a better position so that we can help out. It looks like they probably have a little bit of an advantage from a kill perspective, but we do have the cap advantage. That is one thing that we are holding on to at this point. We're going to focus up here on the other side of the central plateau, and we have an Arctic Cheetah who's running around with us. This Direwolf is cored up, so he's probably going to go down by the time before I even get there. Now, as we jump down, we're going to turn to the... Oh my gosh, this archer scared the crap out of me, and he's right in front of us. We're going to put some fire in on him. We're getting helped by this Arctic Cheetah, and we're at point-blank range, so he's unable to target us with his lerms, just trying to back up into the bog at this point. We have to watch our heat. He's going to drop down. That gives us a chance to cool down. One final salvo with those large pulse lasers, and we do get the kill. Now, in front of us, we have a Mad Dog, and unfortunately, I did try and get another salvo off with the large pulses, and I did overheat, but my team is probably going to be able to clean him up. Yes, there he goes. So now we have the advantage both from a cap perspective and from a kill perspective. So what we're going to do is we're going to group up, maybe either with this Marauder over here, or I might actually go back the other way, just because I'm looking at where they're capping, and I feel like they're going to probably try and make a spin over towards the side. And there we go. We have Kappa that's over here in front of us. 2 of our teammates are putting damage down on him, and that Nova is very, very tanky. The Nova is a very tanky mech, so we're going to have to play this tactfully. We're going to whip around the corner, put down some full alphas into this guy because we do have the heat in our favor now, and he's going to try and get some damage in on me. Full alpha into that center torso, and there he goes. So he goes down. Now we have another target right in front of us, this Bushwacker. One more salvo should do it, and there he goes as well. So we got 2 quick kills, a double kill there, and now the round should be pretty much just about over. Not sure what they have left. Looks like everything is cleaned up in the bog. We have the caps, we have the kill advantages, and now we just have to find that last mech. It might be a disconnect. So now the search begins for this last mech before the round is over. And actually, it looks like it's probably a live target. This Assault actually woke up. We don't know what it is yet, but it is Lima, so we're going to head in his direction. get some focus fire down on him and get this final kill. One thing I have to point out about the Bushwacker that I'm loving so far is the tankiness. Look at the spread in damage. Nothing is cored even at this point, and we are almost at the end of the round. So here comes Lima. We're going to put as much damage as we possibly can in him. We are fully cooled off at this point, so we can afford to put a lot of damage into this guy. Just going to circle around him. He's distracted by a light. Now he's trying to turn the other way. Now his focus is on me, so we're going to keep putting it into his center torso, keep firing off those machine guns, and my team is able to amplify it enough and get that final kill. So that is going to do it for this round on Viridian Bog, a very, very hot map. We were able to successfully navigate our way even through the heat and everything else that was kind of thrown at us. We were down at one point and we recovered, so great job to the entire team for rallying and ultimately getting this win for our entire team. 4 kills, 5 assists, 853 damage with 6 components destroyed. We did top the leaderboards on both sides. Huge round. And I was actually kind of surprised. I thought we would definitely not be able to put out that kind of damage or numbers even from this type of map. I thought it was definitely going to be a little bit more heat intensive, a little bit more difficult for us to navigate around, but it actually worked surprisingly well. So very happy with the result, but we still have one more round of gameplay to go through. So let's hop back into the queue and see if we can wrap up this video on a strong note. Here we go. Alrighty guys, here we go. Third and final round is going to take place on Grim Plexus. A great map for this build, a great map for this mech from the perspective not only that we have the heat management definitely in our favor, it is a colder map, but we can also play the mid to short long range perspective very, very well. We have a lot of terrain that we can hide behind. We have a lot of open area to shoot targets that might be out in the open, so that gives us a great opportunity to play both roles, close in on our targets, get some kills, and hopefully ultimately get the win. So first and foremost, what we're going to do is we're going to group up with the rest of our team in one of these centralized locations here. Probably looking towards Fox 8, if I had to guess, is where we're probably going to group up. So first and foremost, what we're going to do, obviously, as I mentioned, we're just going to hang out here, try and maybe get some scouting information, see if they're running across, if they have any kind of presence on this side of the map. They usually spawn diagonal from each other. So we're in Fox 8, but our opponents are probably closer to Gulf 8, if I had to guess. So we're just going to play it safe, kind of conservative, just look around a little bit. We do have the range to put down at least a little bit of damage, just in case they have any mechs doing some scouting on this side or our side of the map. So not seeing much of anything. It's not very common that you would see anything, but just to play it safe, we're just going to keep our eyes peeled. Now, first look is they're probably going to come up near those drums over there. Not really going to get too much information peeking from this position, especially this early on in the map. But really what we're doing is we're just waiting for everyone to get together so that we can kind of form up, focus our fire all together as an entire team, and really just pinpoint our damage to get our opponents down. So as you can see, they are actually targeting a couple of us. This Mad Dog in front of me just got his arm taken off, so we do have to be very careful. Not going to keep poking up there. I have 438 meters of range to work with, and it exponentially dissipates as that range gets further. So we're not really going to take up much of a chance in trying to target any opponents at that range or that distance, but we do have a warrant over here who must be completely out of position. Bravo is just getting targeted by my entire team, and it looks like he's probably going to have a very, very early exit out of this match. All of my team is focusing up on him now. He is completely cored. Half of his loadout is gone. He's trying to retreat. We're putting some amplification damage down on him. Another full salvo, and my team is able to clean it up. So there he goes. Another target in front of us. Delta here. Looks like he's out of position as well. We're just going to put some more and more damage down on him. He did try and get an airstrike off before he died. He's probably going to get a little bit of damage on me and the rest of my team here. Yeah, he just barely got it. Good for you, man. Even though you knew you were going to die, you still did get some damage down for your team. So good looks there. We're going to focus across the map. We did get a little bit of a scraping kind of damage on that Executioner there. He's probably at maximum range from my large pulsers. Inner sphere large pulses are obviously not like the clan large pulses. We have that direwolf, full dock of direwolf down there in the pit, and we're not going to even go near that guy because we're just going to get chewed on. So we're going to try and focus up with the rest of our team here that's on this side. We do have a UAV over our head, and it's because of this Locust, and this Locust is running away. He's trying to figure out where he could fit into this play here, but he's just really in full retreat at this point. So we were able to scare him off. I did get some good shots down on him, hopefully scare him completely off in another direction. And now I'm going to whip around the corner because I see that my friend is focusing up on the Cicada right in front of him. The Cicada is fully cored at this point, so there he goes. We were able to put some damage down on him, and our team was able to clean it up. So excellent teamwork so far. Now, in looking across on the Echo 6 hill, we do have a couple targets over there, and we have a hunchback that's actually pursuing them. So we're going to try and help him out. Even from range, we do have these 3 large pulses working on this Cicada, and he's going to fall back into a full retreat back behind the hill, which is huge. Now, it is 5-4, so it's actually a closer race than I originally anticipated based off how the beginning of the match was going. Now, I'm in the trench here. I'm going to pop the UAV so the rest of my team knows exactly who's up on that hill and can actually get some targeting information on their next opponent. So we're going to focus up, see exactly what everyone's firing in on. We have a Viper chasing our Viper and a Jenner chasing after him. So they're all kind of falling over the hill here. One more shot into that center torso of the Jenner right on the tip of his nose, and we are able to land the kill. So that is huge for our team, getting that light mech out of the way. We do have an assault that's up here on the hill now. This Marauder 2C has no idea that we're right next to him. He's focusing up on one of our friendlies. We took off his arm, and that takes 3 of his 5 large pulse lasers out of play completely. Just focusing up again, and he's finally going to go down. There he goes. Excellent work by Bruiser there, getting that kill on the Marauder 2C. Now we're focusing up on this Locust. He's back, so we have to turn our attention and try and get him out of the play, but he is able to retreat and get back to his team. But turning around the corner here, the Cicada had no idea we were there when we put 3 large pulses into his chest, and he is out of the battle. So it's 8-6 now. We're going to turn around the corner here. This Locust looks like he's trying to hide. You cannot hide any longer, little buddy, and there he goes. So my team is able to clean him up. So 2 very quick kills between the Cicada and that Locust are huge. We were going to go for that Executioner there, but we do have a Direwolf behind us that we need to get out of the play. I am getting my back armor chewed up from PPC fire. My team is able to clean up that Direwolf, but now we can focus our attention on these last 2 opponents. So in front of us, we have Echo that looks to like it's a Viper, and still Charlie, that Executioner, is off in the distance. So we're going to try and go for the Executioner first, but we do have to be mindful of that Viper. Very skilled pilot. He is landing his shots, so we do have to play this tactfully and hopefully get the Executioner out of the way first so that we can focus all of our attention on getting that Viper down. Now, in focusing up on this Executioner, he is focusing up back on me, so hopefully the rest of my team can help put some amplification damage down on him and get him distracted so that I can continue putting some fire into him, hopefully maybe even neuter him. Yes, we're going to go for that right torso, and there it goes. So it popped off, and he is completely neutered now. So even if we are to overheat, we're going to try and go for the kill, but we didn't because we did overheat, and hopefully my team can clean him up. Probably just a couple more shots to the center torso, and there he goes, popped after that red center torso. So now all we have left is this Echo Viper hopping around on the battlefield. And unfortunately, we did overheat, but we were trying to sweep that right leg out of there because of the fact that it's amber orange and completely cored. He did Pop-Tart and actually take out one of our friendlies, so we really have to make quick work of this guy. Otherwise, if he gets range on us, we might not be able to recover because this guy seems like a very skilled PPC Pop-Tart pilot. He's going to constantly put some fire into me. I finally did get that right leg, so he cannot go very far. Now, he's trying to put some PPC fire into my center torso, taking off that machine gun in my right arm, but that's not going to be enough, buddy. I still have a huge alpha in that left arm. You're going to have to do a lot more damage in order to get that thing off. We did take off his right torso, but it looks like that PPC is actually in his left torso, so now we're just constantly putting in these alphas, and he just won't go down. This is insane. One more big alpha. Let's get it, and there he goes. So finally, we're able to get the final kill. Although we overheated, we could afford to do so. He was the last opponent, and although we did did sacrifice overheating yet again.
Good game.
We did get the final kill, and we did close off the round. So here are the stats. 3 kills, 7 assists, 894 damage with 10 components destroyed. So a great round of gameplay overall. We did not top the leaderboards in total. In fact, one of the guys on the enemy team had the top score here, but we still had a fantastic round. We played our part, and we did an excellent job. So did the entire team here in closing it out. But now that we've gone through the gameplay, it's time to go back into the garage and close off with some final thoughts based off my first impressions taking out the Bushwacker Hero. Alrighty guys, welcome back to the garage. Just some final thoughts on this mech before we actually close off the video. First and foremost, my first impressions. Now, one thing I would want to point out about this mech right off the bat is I love the tankiness of this mech. Especially when you're talking about placing an XL engine in an Intersphere mech. It's a very sensitive subject right now in MechWarrior Online, and this little brute can really stand in there and take a serious amount of punishment, and I really do appreciate that PGI gave this thing's armor quirks to make it stand right in there, take some damage, take some licks, put down some damage, and really stand in there with the rest of your team. Now, there are still 2 other aspects about this mech that I mentioned in the beginning that I look for, and that's the speed and the firepower. Now, for speed, you have 87.1 kph to work with speed tweak once it's mastered. So that's no joke, especially even in a medium with this kind of tankiness, to have that coincide with that kind of speed is definitely a dual threat. And then you add on the firepower. We have a 52-point alpha on this build, which is no joke by any means. So you have speed, you have durability, and you have the firepower that you're looking for. So overall, my first impressions about this mech are fantastic. I'm going to keep working with it. I'm going to keep working with some of the other variants, mixing and matching which ones I like the most, and I'm definitely going to be doing some more reviews on this. If you haven't picked up the Bushwacker, you know, I normally give some opinions, but this is a very strong opinion about a mech that I feel that you guys should purchase for yourselves. It's an absolute blast to play with so far. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I just highly recommend you guys picking it up for yourselves. I'm sure you'll have a blast with it, especially with all the different variants and configurations you can come up with this thing. So that's my 2 cents there, but that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, check out the links in the description. I have a link to my PayPal and my Patreon page in case you guys do want to support the channel. I want to thank everyone who has supported the channel so far, whether it was through a comment, an email, monetarily, whatever the case is. I just want to say thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much again, and I look forward to seeing you all on the next one. Take care, guys.